Even in the spotlight, I wanted to shrink back into the shadows. The restaurant was alive with sound. Clinking glasses, bursts of laughter, voices rising and falling over each other. My colleagues leaned across the table, smiling, toasting, congratulating me. In the center was a bouquet of fresh lilies, their petals catching the glow of the candlelight. Too perfect, too radiant, almost mocking my unease. All I could feel was the cold sweat sliding down the stem of the champagne glass in my hand. I lifted it, forced to join the toast, but my fingers slipped slightly on the condensation. A tiny stumble no one else noticed, but to me it felt like my whole body was betraying me. My smile didn't reach my eyes. My laugh landed half a beat too late. They were celebrating me, a win I had worked hard for, a deal closed after weeks of persistence. My boss had said my name aloud, praised my effort. Everyone turned toward me, glasses raised in my honor, and inside, I froze. Guilt pulsed heavier than pride. The applause felt sharp, almost accusatory. Every cheer carried a hidden question. Why her? My heart thudded against my ribs. My throat tightened. The whisper inside me grew relentless. I don't deserve this. I swirled the champagne, watching bubbles rise to the surface. I thought, if I just stay quiet, they'll move on. They'll celebrate someone else. But the truth was inescapable. The celebration was mine, and I couldn't accept it. I've sat in a room where every eye was on me, every hand applauded me, and all I felt was shame. It's a strange kind of loneliness. To succeed and still believe you've somehow tricked everyone. To be seen, but only want to disappear. That night, with lilies glowing in the candlelight and a glass sweating in my hand, I felt myself getting smaller and smaller with every compliment. Even in the spotlight, I wanted nothing more than to slip back into the shadows. Every compliment felt like a mistake, like they'd given the award to the wrong person. That's what ran through my head as my colleagues smiled at me, as my boss clapped me on the back, as people said, "You deserve this." Each word of praise made me flinch. Outwardly, I nodded, smiled, thanked them politely. Inwardly, I cringed. I thought, if only you knew, if only you saw the flaws I see, you wouldn't be celebrating me. The root of it runs deep. Growing up, humility wasn't just encouraged. It was demanded. Don't boast. Don't take up too much space. Don't let pride show, because pride invites punishment. I was taught to downplay achievements, to redirect compliments, to stay modest, and over time, that humility twisted into something heavier, a guilt that clung to every win. So when I stood in rooms like this, being recognized, I didn't feel proud. I felt exposed, like I had stepped out of line, like I had broken some unspoken rule by being visible. The fear was simple. If I stood tall in my success, the universe would notice and take it away. That's what self-worth after success looks like for me. It's not celebration. It's suspicion. It's waiting for punishment that must surely follow pride. The cultural weight is always there. I was told to set an example, but the example wasn't about celebrating myself. It was about responsibility, sacrifice, carrying others. Winning was supposed to be for the family, for the community, not for me. To claim it, personally, felt selfish. So when I achieve something, the instinct is to deflect. It wasn't me. It was the team. It was luck. It wasn't that big a deal. I shrink my role because shrinking feels safer than standing tall. But shrinking comes at a cost. Because when I deny myself the right to celebrate, I also deny myself the right to grow. I turn every win into another reason to doubt. Every success becomes a heavier burden instead of a lighter step forward. That night at the dinner table, my boss said, "You handled that client brilliantly." Everyone nodded. My stomach twisted. All I could think was, if they only knew how anxious I was, how many mistakes I almost made, they wouldn't be saying this. The glasses clinked, but instead of warmth, the sound rang sharp in my ears. I forced a smile. I averted my eyes. I laughed when I was supposed to, but inside, I shrank smaller and smaller until I felt like a ghost in my own celebration. That's the cruelest part of low self-worth after a win. It doesn't let me live in the light of what I've achieved. It convinces me I'm an impostor, even when I've earned the seat, the praise, the award. And I felt that more than once. That night, champagne sweating in my hand, laughter circling the table, the spotlight fixed on me. Even then, I was shrinking inward. Even then, I was wrestling with the whisper, "I don't deserve this." The moment that cut deepest came when my boss lifted his glass, looked straight at me, and said, "You did an incredible job. This was all you." My name echoed across the table like it belonged to someone else. Smiles turned toward me, nods, claps, the chorus of celebration wrapping around me. For a split second, the air thickened. The sound of clinking glasses rang too sharp, like shards against my skin. And I froze. My smile stretched across my face, but it was paper thin, brittle at the edges. My eyes dropped to the tablecloth. My fingers tightened around the champagne stem until condensation slipped down and stained my dress. Inside, the loop roared. I'm not worth this. They've made a mistake. They don't know the truth. I don't deserve this. Every compliment ricocheted like a stone against glass, cracking my composure a little more. My mind replayed the slip-ups, the drafts I second-guessed, the late nights where I was scrambling and unsure. Each flaw felt heavier than all the praise combined, as if my mistakes erased my effort entirely. I tried to laugh, but the sound snagged in my throat. I nodded when I was supposed to, but my gaze stayed low, too afraid to meet anyone's eyes. My boss kept speaking, but his words blurred into the clinking, a sound that now felt like accusations instead of applause. My body curled inward, shoulders hunched, shrinking as if I could disappear into the chair. They were celebrating me, but I was vanishing from my own success. And that's what cut deepest. Not that I had failed, but that I had succeeded and still couldn't believe I deserved it. That's the cruelty of low self-worth after a win. It steals the light from the moment. It turns success into a spotlight you don't feel worthy to stand in. It convinces you to shrink when you should rise. That night, I shrank so small inside myself, I almost disappeared. But something shifted when the award itself was placed in my hands. It was small, a plaque with my name engraved on it, I turned it over in my palms, fingers tracing the letters, the grooves where my name had been carved. The name wasn't someone else's, it was mine. For the first time all evening, I let myself stop pretending. I sat quietly, staring at the proof in front of me. My effort wasn't invisible. My work had been seen, acknowledged, carved into permanence. I whispered to myself, almost afraid to hear it out loud. I deserve my achievements. The words felt fragile, like a new seedling, breaking through the soil. I said them again, steadier. I deserve my achievements. And again, this time with a smile that wasn't forced, but real. I deserve my achievements. Something in me began to unfurl. My shoulders lifted, my chest opened. The noise of the restaurant softened. The sharp clinking of glasses blurred into a gentle background hum. The harp tones of the soft music overhead wrapped around me, reminding me that celebration could feel safe. I thought about the late nights, the countless drafts, the care I had poured into every step of the project. I remembered the nervous calls I had pushed myself to make, the times I showed up even when I doubted myself. None of it had been easy. None of it had been luck. It had been effort, persistence, care. And that was enough to deserve this. For years, I had told myself that humility meant shrinking, that downplaying my wins was the right thing to do. But humility doesn't mean denying reality. And the reality was simple. I had earned this. My effort was proof. My care was proof. My persistence was proof. I deserved this because I built it. The mantra layered itself into my chest, soft at first, then steady, then joyful. I deserve my achievements. And with each repetition, the weight I carried began to lift. The guilt loosened. The disbelief softened. The joy I had been pushing away seeped in, warm and steady. For the first time that evening, I didn't want to shrink back into the shadows. I wanted to stand tall in the light. When I whispered, I deserve my achievements, it didn't erase all the guilt. It didn't instantly silence the doubts that had lived in me for years, but it gave me something I had never allowed myself before: permission. Permission to stand in the light of my own work without apology. That night, holding the plaque with my name on it, I realized how many times I had stolen joy from myself, how many wins I had brushed aside, how many times I had redirected the spotlight away from me because I thought I wasn't worthy. But worth isn't borrowed. Worth isn't given only when someone else decides. Worth is lived, step by step, effort by effort, choice by choice. At work, this shift means I allow myself to accept compliments without immediately deflecting. I try to simply say, "Thank you," even when every instinct wants to say, "Oh, it was nothing," or "I just got lucky." It feels awkward, almost rebellious, but it's a rebellion worth practicing. At home, this shift shows up when I celebrate small things too. When I cook a meal and let myself be proud of it instead of criticizing the presentation. When I finish a workout and recognize the discipline it took instead of focusing on what I didn't do. Inside myself, the shift means looking back at my story and seeing proof of worth. The late nights, the difficult choices, the moments I wanted to give up but didn't. Each one is a win. Each one is evidence. To make it tangible, I've started a new practice. I sit with my journal once a week, pen in hand, and I write down 3 wins. Not for anyone else to see, just for me. Sometimes they're big, like closing a deal. Sometimes they're small, like getting out of bed on a hard morning. But each one is mine. Each one is evidence that I am building a life, step by step, that deserves recognition. When the pen presses into the page, leaving ink behind, it feels grounding. Proof etched into paper. Proof no one can erase. What I write is already mine. No one can take it away. And every time I finish those 3 entries, I whisper, my story proves my worth. It doesn't erase the old voice completely, but it gives me something stronger to hold. So tonight, I remind myself, and you too, that celebrating your own win isn't arrogance. It's honesty. A flower never doubts its bloom. Why should I? Why should you? Sometimes the hardest thing is to stand tall in your own win. That's what I'm carrying with me tonight. Not the shrinking, not the guilt, but the steady truth that I deserve to celebrate what I've built. So tonight, I choose to celebrate myself. Not in a loud, boastful way, but in a quiet, steady way that says, I earned this. I deserve this. This week, I'm writing down 1 win, big or small, and letting it stand in the light. No excuses, no downplaying, just recognition. I don't need anyone else's approval because my proof is already mine. As I leave the dinner behind in my mind, I imagine lanterns drifting upward into the night sky, each one carrying a story, a moment of worth, a reason to celebrate. They float higher and higher, glowing against the darkness, unashamed of their light. That's what I want for myself, to rise without apology, to glow without shame. And for tonight, this is enough. The plaque with my name, the ink on the page, the lanterns rising. I deserve this. And I'm letting myself believe it.